no matter what you rely on from something or someone, that emotional dependence is eventually going to mutate into something that you really do not want to, into emotional dependence. Let's take, for example, the example of children and their parents. Parents control basically the entirety of children's finances. A child is completely financially dependent on their parents. And because their parents control this domain like a dictator, happily so, they generalize. They start seeing their parents as not only somebody that controls food and water and just keeping them alive, but somebody that, as people that also control their emotional states. This is something pretty subconscious. We don't look at a person who gives us food every single day. We don't look at our parents and say, yeah, every single emotion that they feel, I will mirror it. And when they treat me badly, I will feel bad. And when they treat me well, I'm going to feel good. No, nobody actually does this consciously. It is entirely subconscious. And when we look at the example of something, let's say, for example, you're completely dependent on YouTube for self-satisfaction. Well, the moment YouTube starts doing not so well, I don't know if the creators of YouTube decide to delete it or I don't know what, yeah, okay, maybe you can like jump to Twitch or whatever. Let's say if social media gets banned and you're reliant on social media for, I don't know, entertainment, other domains in your life are also going to crumble, because if one crumbles, it might also affect other things. And this is why you need so many things. If you only look at one thing, it crumbles and then you have nothing left. If you have like 3 things, one can crumble and the 2 other ones might crumble slightly. But if you have 10, 20, 100, when one completely crumbles and just falls to the ground in ashes and pieces and broken pieces of what it once was, the other ones might still be affected, or a couple of them might still be affected, but you'll have such a solid foundation that it doesn't really even matter that only one of those things that was sustaining you has died away. But this video is called The Beauties of Self-Reliance. So how do you become completely self-reliant? As Emerson said, I think. He has a really, really good essay called Self-Reliance that you probably should read. I haven't read it yet, so I probably should have read it before trying to record this video, but whatever. What I found is that if you're reliant on one thing from someone or something, it's also going to control other parts of your life. But you should also try to control every single part of your life. Because if something is entirely dependent on someone or something, it's not going to go well. For example, if you're a child, try to help with the family's finances. Because eventually, financial dependence mutates, degenerates into emotional dependence. And you do not want, no matter how amazing your parents are, you do not want them to control your emotions 100% of the time. So, I need to actually like tie a beautiful little knot on this video. Not in the sense of ending it, but just actually creating a structure. Not only do you want to help with like finances and food and I don't know, washing your own clothes and stuff like that so you're not completely dependent on other things, but you also want to do some very insane stuff. You also need to do some really kind of esoteric things that most people will just rely on other people in order to receive them from them or whatever. But you, as a really independent person, need to learn how to do it yourself, how to do those things yourself. For example, let's take the example of you being completely alone. All of your family members dead, all of your having no friends, no spouse, no girlfriend, no children, no grandchildren. Certainly no grandchildren, and just being left completely alone in the world. Well, that would suck. I know that would suck. But How do you actually manage to love yourself in this situation? And I'm not telling you that you need every single person that knows and loves you and cares about you to die in order to start doing this, but in just like that really that really obscure situation, that really specific situation, a solution would probably just be hugging yourself. Literally just hugging yourself. Because there won't ever be another person for you every single day of your life. You will be completely alone. You are completely alone. Let's say, for example, that you meet your spouse when you're 25 years old and you spend the rest of your life with them. Well, you still spend like 25 years with your parents. And after the age of 25, you don't spend it that much with your parents, but with your spouse. Who's the most common character in your life? Who's the most common character in like the movie? If your life were a movie or a book, a big fat novel, who would be the most recurring character? You, yourself. So who can you depend on? Who ruins the movie? Who ruins the book? Or who elevates it? Who should be the greatest character in the movie? The one that is also always recurring, that is always coming back into frame. You. So the only way is just being completely. There's a word in like romance languages. I don't know if there's in English. In English there's a word like this, but just being completely independent with everything. To be able to gather different sentiments and different things just completely on yourself. You need to be able to, I'll just give you like a small list of things. You should be able to love yourself. If you need another person to love you, well, you're kind of dependent on that person. I'm sorry to tell you, but if you're dependent on that person to love you and show you attention and whatever, you're still kind of dependent on another person. And yes, this is one of the most beautiful things in life, that we can't actually manage on our own. But in the darkest moments, in the moments where somebody dies, or in the moments when we are left completely alone, we need to actually suck it up and hug ourselves, because there will never be in that moment there is nobody out there for us. We need to be financially independent. We need to make our own food. We need to wash our own clothes. We need to clean our own house, because eventually your mother is not going to always be there for you. Maybe not even your spouse, maybe not even your best friends. You are the only person that can help yourself. Being self-reliant is the only way to live. Because if not, I don't want to say that you're a slave to other people, but they're kind of a slave to you. I don't know. This is a pretty weird video. It was unscripted, but the main idea is that nobody can help you. Nobody will always be out there to help you. And yes, of course, you should appreciate other people's help, and we should strive to be more social and create stronger bonds with one another. This is literally the entire objective of this channel. But we also need to have the capability to love ourselves, the capability to be there for ourselves when nobody else will be. So, if you like the video, consider subscribing to the channel and send this to someone you love. I'll see you later.